It is 25 past 8 in the morning of the finale. We have both woken up obscenely early to watch the final episode of Peacemaker to discuss it. This is a very strange season. The first season was already a very strange season coming off the Suicide Squad, but this season it delves deeper into the characters and into this new world of the DCU that James Gunn is crafting. And the whole time, nobody could really understand where it was going. Now that we have the full picture, I don't feel well equipped to talk about this. It hasn't been like anything I expected it to be. And I don't know if that's a positive and I don't know if that's a negative. I mean, say what you want about the guy, but James Gunn has made something here that truly, I mean, I'm already seeing a lot of people disappointed by this season and this ending online. I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's a very strange ending. Waking up early for this feels way, way more disappointing. I'm literally on my last brain cell trying to think of words. It's not offensively bad. It just feels like you just woke up from a strange dream. That's what it feels like. You're just like, oh my God, okay. It's strange to go from season one to season two. As you said, it felt like a character study. And I think I'm seeing the problem with James Gunn with the DCU at the moment, which I do have faith in him, but I think it's the shows woven into the films. But I think there were some strong foundations that we have with some really nice character moments. But I think the show just goes off with a tangent. Last season, there was a proper conclusion, whereas this, it just felt like, hey, here's something. Bye bye. And that's it. And we haven't really gotten news about season three. So.
Yeah.
This is the Out of Time Film Podcast, where your hosts Tom and John discuss everything from blockbuster films to TV and games like there's no tomorrow.
Last season felt like a complete package. It felt like a complete story. There was space to grow, but I felt fulfilled. And this time I don't feel as fulfilled. And we'll get to that. We'll get to our ending. Let's start with the opening, the transition from the DCEU to the DCU. I think the big thing about James Gunn is, as you say, he's doing films and shows. And we haven't seen Creature Commandos, but he has been taken on a lot recently. And I don't think this is a complete miss, but it certainly is, to me, somebody who is working on a lot of different projects. He's got a lot on his mind, and so this season is kind of tackling a lot. We begin with a kind of recap of last season, but they changed the ending. No more Justice League. It's now the Justice Gang. Yada yada yada. You know, that's well-trodden territory at this point. Do you think that this season fits into the DCU well in terms of hinting for the future and connecting to the present? Like, how do you feel about that?
From the intro, it feels a bit off, but I'm not too thrown off about it. It's just like, okay, in the first episode, they were trying to hire some new heroes for the Justice Gang. To me, it just felt like they were just trying to keep things connected. I think the central problem is that once you add those characters, you're going to think of big things that are going to happen for Peacemaker, which I think that was the problem throughout this season. It's like, oh, there's going to be huge things that are going to be happening, you know, like some crazy moments or something. And I think that's where the expectations start to rise and, oh, this is going to be crazy. It just felt like there's some possibilities, which is good, but it just felt like there's some crazy things that people are thinking of. I think that was the struggle for me. I was like, oh, they're trying to build some beyond the grounded level of Peacemaker.
Yeah, a lot of it felt like it was, here's some possibilities for the future. Here's ideas of places we could go. Here's an indication of kind of
Yeah.
like where we're going to go. And I think that's fine, that's interesting, but it should feel secondary. But it feels like the primary concern of the season is to look at our new horizons. And I feel like maybe some other stuff gets left in the dust. I have to wonder how much of this truly will be further explored, because last season it was very clear we have our central conflict of the butterflies and the invasion. This time we've got so much more that's going on. It's not just our alternate Earth, but we've also got the Argus plotline, and they both come to a head, but they don't necessarily, it feels like they're unresolved, and maybe that's very much in the design of it. I'm curious to see how, because obviously James Gunn is a very online presence. I'm interested to see how is he going to respond to the reactions, which are already kind of a bit like, oh, it's not the warmest of receptions ever. I do think the emotional core of this season is stronger. John Cena as a performer has grown so much, and Chris as a character has also changed massively. The season is much less violent. And when it is violent, it's condemned by the show. There's a couple of times when violence is really disturbing to watch. And that fits very well into Chris's development of not wanting to kill. And that's part of what we see in season 1. And this time we kind of take that a little bit further. I can see why people will be disappointed that this show doesn't have a massive action scene at the end and a big CGI shooting lasers at each other. Or like season 1, just a massive inner field, kicking ass, taking names. I don't mind that we don't. I very much appreciate that this season doesn't necessarily concern itself with action as heavily. Sure, there were still a fair few action scenes, but I like that it's really just looking at these characters that we've got to know, the 11th Street kids, and questioning, do they actually have a life outside of violence and being trained killers by the government? That's kind of what the season is about. It's about them kind of breaking free of that role. And I think when it's focusing on that, it's really good.
Yeah, for sure. There was that emotional conflict that we had straight up from episode 1, real life situations of like finding a job. A job, the most terrifying enemy that we have in the DCU, finding a job. And I think there was a potential there to actually have more of a focus point all the way through. It might have gotten them stronger together to realize that we can't really do this alone. We gotta work together. For Chris's storyline, very interesting to think about with the ideas of the alternate Earth, which we'll get into, and the whole thing with Harcourt as well. I think there should have been more exploration with that. It just feels like we just got so much time with alternate Earth, but I think there was something that could have worked well for the finale. Because the finale, when you think of finales, you think of massive things that are going to happen, plot twists, or maybe cliffhangers, which we just said. It does wrap up things for those characters and have something that is very subverted. It feels nice. That's what I'm trying to say. It feels nice to have that feelings about the characters that get to work together. They have a job because of vigilante, because of the money, with the drug money they had. I didn't expect that, but okay, sure. It should have been focused on that rather than so many things that were happening at once. Was there something actually happening in the story? Because again, we just got so much time figuring out the alternate Earth. Because that was like, was that the central conflict? Which it was, but it's just like there's so many things and ideas that we're trying to push into this story.
Yeah, the alternate Earth is a very interesting one because the way the episodes, I maybe like 3 to 6, the way that they work, you would think that that's our big conclusion in this alternate Earth. And I think
Right.
those episodes in the middle, they kind of meander. There are good things, but I feel like the show, it crawls along in the middle, and only at the end does it properly kick into gear, not in the conventional way. Again, there's no massive finale, no big battle climax, and it's more character driven. But we do struggle along that path. It's not as tight as season 1 across its 8 episodes, but I will say that each episode there are less of the long comedic bits, you know, like where John Cena will sit there and he will list a bunch of stuff, and it did kind of go on a bit in season 1, and that was the big thing that wasn't for me. And I think the comedy is more enjoyable. It doesn't feel like it's padding the runtime as much, and we've got some great inclusions like Tim Meadows with his bird blindness. I very much enjoyed that
And this
stuff.
very weird name calling system as well.
Yes. As a ginger man myself, ginger cool is a big one. Maybe I should adopt that myself.
He's the funniest character that we had on this show. Whenever he's on the screen, it's like, what is he going to say? What piece of story that he has? Like, what sentence is he going to make that has never been said before in humanity ever?
And I enjoyed that he wasn't just comedic relief as well. There are moments when he genuinely has a conscience and he genuinely questions, you know, I'm
Yes.
doing work for this madman, Rick Flag Sr., the new head of Argus. Again, haven't seen Creature Commandos, so cannot talk to that, but obviously he has a small role in Superman as well. And he's a very interesting character because he's got this vendetta against Chris for killing Rick Flag Jr., and the way that they unpack that across the season of him basically just being out for revenge is very interesting. This is basically spoiler warning now, spoiler territory, but then at the end, he's very much like, meta-humans, let's get these guys out, massive prison. He's basically using the same plan as Pascal Savage. Do you know who Pascal Savage is, John?
No.
He's the villain from the first Johnny English, who wants to turn the UK.
Oh, yes, we turn it
Yes.
into a prison.
Exactly,
Yeah.
for everyone. Rick Flag Sr. is the exact same as John Malkovich in Johnny English. And to me, that came out of nowhere. I understand that in Superman they mentioned that he doesn't like metahumans, and we also get a little bit of that throughout the season. Please, in the comments, tell us, does Creature Commandos Meadows explain why he hates metahumans? Because that's a very interesting part that doesn't really come up until the end.
I had a theory. I think I read the series somewhere, but Rick Flag was actually using the doors to find his alternate son.
Right,
Rick Flag.
yeah.
So I thought, oh, that must be the motivation because he was actually going through a lot of grief and a lot of anger towards Chris. And I thought, what's a proper resolution for that? But then it's just a prison, and it just feels like, oh, where do we get that progression from? Was it from Creature Commandos? But I think he works with metahumans in that show. So it's
Yeah.
like, huh.
Maybe that's a part of the origin story that we are going to see. I don't really know, but this prison, this salvation is from the comics. There's a comic book called Salvation Run that James Gunn was talking about being influenced by, and apparently that is the direction of the DCU. That's where we're heading. Some people are considering that maybe Man of Tomorrow won't be about Brainiac, but it might be about Mongol or something like that. Is it Mongol?
I don't know.
I believe that in the Salvation Run, there are really big creatures, as we kind of hear at the end of this show. We hear some kind of like roaring and breathing, growling. So people are thinking maybe something like that is going to be the villain of Man of Tomorrow. We will still get into the finale, but worth saying about the rest of the season, we also have Nazis.
Yeah, everybody. That
Woo!
was from was it episode 2 or 3 when Chris actually explores the alternate Earth on the motorbike and everybody praises him, and it's like something's not right. There's something off about this. It's like that meme from Dexter, the guy with the
Dokes.
Dokes. Yeah, Dokes is like there's something off about this Earth, but I can't prove it.
Yeah.
And you don't see a person of color on our Earth, and it's like there's something really off about this. And yeah, it's full of Nazis. I don't know if James confirmed this, but it is Earth X, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean, what
Earth
else
X.
could it be? It's not the Earth X from the Arrowverse. It's not that same kind of vibe. And I think that that's a very interesting location that I'm surprised we don't really learn about. They use it in the show as a tool for Chris's character to show him that the solution isn't far, far away. You can't run from your problems and you can't get back what you've lost, which is very interesting rather than world development of this multiverse. And I don't really mind that. I don't really mind that we don't really go into that actual Earth. Having said that, once we do find out about the Nazis, we only spend an episode, a short episode as well. We would probably only spend about 25 minutes in the actual world. We see a few Nazi deaths, very satisfying. Judo Master kills a bunch
Yes.
of them in a swimming pool. I enjoyed that a
Oh,
lot.
that was the hell yeah. I wish GI Robot.
Mm.
That guy. I heard tales of that robot.
Yeah.
I wish he was brought back.
I think we all wanted to see much more Nazi murders because
Yeah.
who doesn't like that? Don't answer that. Plenty of people, apparently.
Plenty of people. Yes.
So
Yeah.
we see like this alternate version of Chris's dad and brother, and I think it's very interesting to see they're still kind of villainous in the sense that Chris's brother is very off the rails and
Yeah. And chased off
unstable.
Adebayo as well.
Yes,
Just like
absolutely. Yeah.
the alternate Adrian said that there was
Yeah.
concentration camps on the Earth as well. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Like, yeah,
oh,
there's a dark side of that world that we really don't get into. And I understand why, but I think it's a weird thing to just introduce and then just leave. It's such a big concept to do in 8 episodes. I think this season could have been incredible if it was the classic 22, as TV once was.
Oh
I don't really
boy,
get that
TV
anymore.
once was 40-minute.
When
Yeah.
I was a boy.
I could sit the entire season within a week
Oh,
and I'll be like,
beautiful.
great times and
Yeah.
not move my chair.
There's so much we could have gotten into more, and then there's just the whole thing where the alternate Augie is like, I did my best. I try not to be, I can't fight the system. And it's
I'm
like,
a
why can't
centrist
you?
and there's nothing I
Yeah.
can do.
And it's kind of like, why can't you fight the system? It's Nazis. Like, what?
You have
I
a
think
suit.
it's a bit...
You
Yeah,
have a
exactly.
suit, man.
Look at how many cops you took out. And of course, we get a really great moment when everyone is basically going to kill Chris's brother and he screams. I think it's one of John Cena's best performance moments where you just see that he's reliving. What's Chris's brother's name? What's he called?
Keith.
Keith. Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry,
That was
everyone.
like, I remember it. That was like the most emotional peak of the story. It's just like,
Yes.
oh wow. When he realizes Keith is alive in this alternate Earth, there is just this performance that Cena plays out. Heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And then once you realize that this is Earth X and he's also a Nazi as well, it's just like season 1, but just way more heartbreaking. There was this chance to have like a normal life with his brother and his dad, but they don't have a moral code. They just do whatever in this world and they just don't fight against the Nazis. So it's just like, damn, that's just so heartbreaking. And
Yeah.
especially from season one, he learned so much from everybody in that team, and he just realizes that there are people that look out for him as well. And especially in season two, there's that nice emotional peak that we get to see in the finale where everybody just says, "Hey, Chris, we really like you, man. Just don't go." That was so sweet. And then we get that needle drop. Is it Foxy Shazam? No, is
It
it
is
Shazam?
Foxy Shazam.
What a name. And it's like, wow, okay, that was cool. But then it's like, we completely forgot about, oh yeah, the alternate
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because Keith
yeah.
still survived.
And I thought that was going to be the finale. Like, Keith comes to
Yeah.
Earth, I've sworn revenge on you. It's so something like
You
that.
killed my brother. You killed my father. Yeah, I don't mind that we don't follow up on that, but I do wonder if we're going to do that in the future. It serves its purpose, the purpose of having Chris go to his lowest point and relive his trauma. I think that's all great stuff. I do wish that some of the side characters had more to do in this season. A lot of them spend a lot of the time just worrying about Chris and being like, "Oh, Chris, you've just got to hold on. You've got people who love you here." You know
Can
what
I
I
just say
mean?
something about
Yes.
Economos? He just stalls the
Yes.
entire time. He just, his character
Yeah.
arc is just stalling
Yeah.
everything.
That's Ginger Cool you're talking about.
Okay, the Econo goat. So
A
it's
kind of
just like,
goat. Love it.
Econo goat.
I do really enjoy hanging out with them. Like, they're just so fun. Again, imagine getting to spend 20 episodes with these guys. They're so much fun. I would like more focus on them. Adebayo's arc with her wife is really great, and the scene where they cry together in the finale is beautiful. Again, the finale is so unconventional, but it really is very cathartic. The moment when they all band together with Sasha Bordeaux and with
Clary?
Tim Meadows?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
With Sasha Bordeaux and with Cleary and with Judo Master, and they all come together to do something good, to do something away from the chains of this government. I thought that was really great. It felt like a midpoint of the episode, and the fact that that was the end of the episode was like, whoa, hold on. So let's talk about it. Did the gun jam?
Can I just say something? Can I just
Yeah.
say something?
Yeah.
James Gunn, this is not a diss. I just want to say, don't mention that Man of Tomorrow connects into this, because I feel like that raises the bar for expectations, because it's just like, this is going to lead up to Man of Tomorrow, and you're teasing something quite big. It's like, is there something going to happen for the finale with the doors? And I think that was the problem. Once you've given that idea of the possibilities about the doors, it's like, oh, yeah, who invented the doors? And it leaves you ideas about, could it be Brainiac? And also with the tease, with the script as well, with the brain. But
Yes.
the thing is, with season one, at the end, you get to see the Justice League. For season two, in actuality, there's some things that happen, but overall, not really for the DCU, because he's handling so many projects, right? And I think that's the problem, because he was working this show and Superman at the same time. Was he ever thinking about Man of Tomorrow? Did he think about this when he finished Peacemaker season two? Because it just felt like you just thrown that cliffhanger last minute, I think.
Yeah, I think that he bigged it up too much. He was talking about cameos and about big connections. A lot of people who are disappointed by this finale, I think, are disappointed because he was talking about how crazy it was going to be, how insane the finale is, and how it's massive and it's one of the best things ever written. Whereas I would say that it's very small and very low key and very character driven. And there's nothing wrong with that, but he definitely bigged it up. And he said that this season points to where a lot of the DCU is heading. And we have that massive cliffhanger of Chris stuck on salvation, been imprisoned.
In the middle of the field, everybody. In the middle of the field.
He's being forced to touch some grass.
No!
God damn it.
He has to go out to the real world. Oh
Worse
my
than
God.
getting a job. Is that going to be resolved in Man of Tomorrow? I really hope not. Because if so, that is the worst example of a shared universe. Because this show should be standing on its own. And we should be able to watch the story unfold in Peacemaker on its own. Not in a Superman film or whatever else. By all means, these characters, let's have them show up elsewhere. Like, let's do it. Let's see Checkmate, which is what they've called their new kind of business. Let's see these characters cross over and have small roles like they do in Superman. I do, in my core, believe that James Gunn can do that. I really do think he knows what he's doing. But this was definitely something that did make me confused. I hope that they don't just resolve this in that film. In the sense of people expected cameos from this, and we did get some really great cameos. Rick Flag Jr. What is his name? What is it with me today? It's 8 in the morning. What's he called? What's the actor called? Oh, Joel Kinnaman. Yeah.
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman. Yeah.
Joel Kinnaman and Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. and Officer Fitzgibbon from season 1 comes
Yeah.
back. They were really nice cameos. Not all of them were massive, but they were just really good little appearances
Oh,
and
and the
ways
rest
that
of Lex's team as well from Superman.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It makes the universe feel shared. It makes it feel textured. I like that. But the people who are disappointed that it wasn't a big cameo, I think it's a bit stupid because do you really just want this show to just end with a bunch of like, point at the screen moments? I mean, we've seen from Marvel that cameos don't make for a good story. So I think just calm down about that. Like James Gunn
Yeah,
said that,
calm
yeah,
down
like
about that.
Blue Beetle fans would be happy for the future, but he never specified Peacemaker season 2. That was our fault. I was
Yeah.
full on expecting Blue Beetle. It didn't happen, and
No,
that's fine.
I imagine for the finale, what people thought was like Superman comes down, just gliding down and he sees Chris. He's like, "Hey, don't call me super shit ever again." He just flies
Yeah.
off, and that's it.
Not that the finale wasn't disappointing. It definitely ends a little bit too abruptly. Kind of like Alien Earth, actually. You know, we were talking about Alien Earth the other week.
Yeah.
Just like that, really. But I don't think that it's therefore the biggest misfire ever because there isn't a big battle or big cameos. It's
No.
just a very unconventional and strange, bold thing.
Yeah, as you said, it's very character driven, so I gotta give to that. It feels refreshing. However, I think it's just like he just wants to have a strong connection to the DCU with Argus and Argos, not the shop Argos, but Argus. He's just like, oh, Argos, yeah.
We found an alternate dimension and we are going to open the biggest Argos warehouse you've ever seen. The catalogue will be immense.
Oh, does everyone remember those thick catalogs that we used
Oh
to have?
man, do they still have
Like,
them? Surely they
I
do.
don't think so, bro. I think
What?
I think it's gone because it's just like
Oh.
it's online now. I think it's just for climate change and all that, bro.
If I was a tree, I would give my life to be an Argos catalogue.
The Bible, the Bible of the items that would be beautiful, and then Rick Flag would be on the cover, like, "Hey, come to Argos."
Big
He's
thumbs
like,
up, yeah.
yeah,
Discount.
big thumb. Yeah, he's like, "Hey, you want a present? Look inside the catalog.
Yeah.
Look inside. Look inside."
Yeah. Right, okay. Peacemaker season 2. What do you give it out of 10?
6.
Okay, yeah. I'm teetering between a 6 or a 7, but I think right now I'm gonna give it be the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say it's 7. Oh my god, we didn't even talk about the intro. The intro's peak.
Oh, intro peak. Jillian,
I mean, like,
it's a hungry world.
yeah, sing it. I kind of like it more than season 1's.
I do agree because
It's
it
such a
has
good
so much
song.
energy. It just has so much
Da,
flair.
da, 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 da. That's how I sat after the finale was ending. Just like completely blank expression. Just sitting there like, what?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
We'll be vibing. We'll be vibing till the end.
I do hope they make a season 3, but that is for the future.
That's what I feel like because it's like, why isn't there season 3?
Absolutely. Thank you everybody for listening. If you're listening on YouTube and you enjoyed, you can like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can follow and give us a 5-star review if you think we're worthy. And next week, oh, the slop is here. It is Tron Ares. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, nothing to say about that. You can send us an email, outsignfilmpod@gmail.com.
I even watched Tron Legacy just to
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, yes, you can follow us on Instagram at Design Film Pod to see our incredible thumbnails from Zain Afzal, on Twitter for more thoughts from Tom and me, and TikTok to see edited clips, which are all also on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, and you can find links to that all in the description below. Thanks to James-Meyer for the excellent theme and Ronan Phillips for vocals as always, and I think that's everything for Peacemaker Season 2. Take away, Given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.